Welcome back, everybody, to Recruitment Uncensored for another episode. It's me, as normal, Kate, the host, and I have an amazing guest on with me this morning. I've got Ross Sullivan from Talent Invest, Ops
Woo!
Director, if I got that right.
Yeah, operations director. Yeah,
Yeah, chief comedian.
yeah. Bit of clowning around on LinkedIn. Doesn't do anybody any harm, does it?
Just a little bit. We were just talking about that, weren't we, before we went live? Like I find you so fucking funny on LinkedIn. Like honestly,
Good.
like
Good.
they're the types of posts I've got time for.
Well, it's the
Love it.
comments as well, isn't it? So you can build a good community in the comments. You start noticing people just like riffing around. It's good fun. Makes the day go a bit quicker.
Well, that's even how we started talking, isn't it? So
Exactly.
LinkedIn has brought us together.
Exactly. There's diamonds out there. There's a lot of boring crap, but there's some interesting people. So get out there, put yourself out there, get to
Yeah,
know people.
100%. Well, we are going to talk today about how to start your own recruitment agency, but a different way. And I think for anyone watching, chuck your questions in the comments, because any that we have time to cover off, I'll bring up and Ross can answer them. I'm going to cover off some really key points around this today with Ross, but I think why I wanted to bring you on to talk about something like this as well is starting your own recruitment agency, if you don't already realize it, for anyone watching, is really fucking hard.
Oh yes.
So yeah, I
Not
think
leaving
that
that.
there's a lot we can cover that's going to give people another option, basically. So we've got Dave Brown said, "Hi Ross, famous at last."
The brown man. He's meant to be on holiday. He's in Shoreham today. He's on a jelly bean.
Oh, it's nice that you took time out of his holiday to watch. So
Oh, he's nice like that. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
good guy. Well, I wanted to start with this one because I'm not too sure myself, right? So I want to know for my own benefit, but I'm sure there's people watching thinking, what is the difference?
Yep.
So joint ventures, outright ownership, what are the differences between the two?
Well, I mean, outright ownership's available to a few people. If you've a nepo baby or you've got some sort of nest egg from previous agencies, then fine. Yeah, you've got enough money there to start your own agency. But for a lot of people, it's just not feasible, particularly in the temps world where you're needing to pay weekly. You might be getting invoices and getting paid on 60 days, 90 days, all
So
sorts of nonsense
stressful
like
that.
that. So cash flow, absolutely non-existent. You're burning your own money. It's not really where you want to be. So there's quite a lot of different joint ventures out there. You've got, I kind of split it into two. So you've got venture capitalist route and you've got a recruiter-backed joint venture. So we're obviously a recruiter, Gap Personnel, 200 mil turnover agency, mainly industrial. But what we started to notice was, hang on, some gaps in the market here, excuse the pun, where we can exploit certain locations, certain sectors that we're not really covered in. So we thought, right, okay, let's go down the joint venture route. So we're giving people equity up to 49%, which is kind of saying, hey, this is your market, this is your place, you know what you're doing, here's your equity for that. Gap have got 51%, we'll do all the funding, we'll do all your compliance, payroll, marketing, IT, absolutely everything. You go out there and build. You do what you do best and concentrate on recruitment.
Joy.
Yeah, exactly that. So this is a different side of it. I speak to a lot of people who have gone out there, done it on their own. They love recruiting, but they absolutely hate doing the taxes, doing the finances, chasing clients for invoices. It's, if you're a recruiter and you're probably more extrovert than introvert, usually, you don't really be doing the admin stuff, really, do you? That's what we're
And
here for.
even if you maybe do, when you've never had a business before and you start to realize the amount of stuff you've got to do and how important it is, and you don't know how to do it and you're trying to learn, it is so stressful. Like, and with all the other shit that you've got to do as well.
Well, it's an opportunity cost as well, because if you're doing all that and learning as you go, you aren't billing. So
Yeah.
Say 40-hour week. We can't say 60-hour week, and we're not allowed to do that anymore, are we? Mr. Dick can't. He won't be happy if we say anything like that. So if we say 40-hour week, if you're giving out 20 hours of your time or doing it outside of your billing opportunities, then yeah, have a look at this option. Obviously, there's less equity rather than owning it outright yourself, but there's a lot less risk to it as well. So I'll say to people, owning outright is betting on the nose. You've got all that liability yourself. It's all on you. This option is like betting each way. You might not get the full rewards, but you've got a lot of comfort there. And if you're finishing second or third, you're still getting your money in.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, for oh, here he is. I don't mind people working hard as long as it's from home. I think you know what you said, like, especially if it's a temp agency, like
Yeah.
I know somebody that tried doing going on their own full ownership temp, and it just hasn't worked out because, oh my God, like you need, like you said, you need to have a big pot of cash already.
It's the things you don't know. It's the things you're not expecting, like recruitment, for example. Waiting for a VAT number for a recruitment company can take about 3 months because there's so many sharks out there folding businesses left, right, and centre. HMRC are all over it. So the due diligence to get a VAT number for a recruitment company is far more strict than it is for any other business. So it's knowing things like that. Getting access to a bank account, that can take months. It's all the things you don't know that you just think, oh, right, okay, I haven't thought about that. That'll be fine. But they all take time, and they all cost a lot of money as well.
Things like the term, sometimes as well, if you need certain terms of business,
yeah,
you know, oh, I'll just get terms of business. Well, you've got to find somebody that maybe a trusted company to get them from, pay for it. And then sometimes you've even got to be the one that tailors it.
Yeah, exactly.
So then you've got an extra job on top. And if you're not, do you know what, it's just all these things, isn't it, that people just don't, I'll just start a recruitment company.
Yeah, exactly. It can become very time consuming. And again, it takes a lot of the fun out of it as well, because where you want to be is on the phone, preferably, rather than an email, on the phone or face-to-face with your clients, building relationships, building the candidate relationships, and doing what you do best, recruiting.
Ross, don't you know that relationships aren't that important in recruitment anymore?
Have you not? All right, okay.
No, apparently not. Apparently not important. That's not how you win clients, is by relationships. Apparently, that's what some people are saying out in the recruitment world at the moment. But what do we know? I don't know.
Well, it sounds like horse shit to me, but there we go. What do I know?
Oh, is there something going on with the subtitles? Oh, do you know what I find I find this, right? Maybe it's how I speak, my Welsh accent. Subtitles don't understand me. Captions don't work. I have to go in and edit them.
Well, being a northern boy, I'm in the same.
Yeah, it's quite funny what they come out with sometimes, actually.
Yeah, if I try to do any dictation, it's a little bit all over the shop. There we go.
Yeah. And what I wanted to ask you as well, as a side question to that one, was, so say somebody's listening to this and they're thinking, joint venture, what you do sounds actually right for me and what I need.
Yeah.
Like, what sort of people do you take on board for that? Like, have you got like a criteria, or like, how does it work?
So it doesn't really matter on the sector. We're not just looking for industrial, that's for sure. So we've got people doing perms across a multitude of sectors. It doesn't have to be industrial. It doesn't have to be in certain locations. We'll pretty much consider anything. The candidate side of it is really important, because what you'll get is there's a lot of people that think they're kind of in love with the notion of running their own agency, but they probably haven't got the minerals to do it. So I'll get a lot of tire kickers, basically. So people say, no, give me some information on that. What can you tell me about this? So I'll just put the information out there, leave it with them. Don't chase anybody. If I'm chasing somebody and trying to pitch and sell to them to run their own business, what good is that? That's somebody who doesn't want to do it. And what have I got? I've got a bird in a cage who's going to be demotivated and not want to be doing it. So it's just a pointless, futile exercise. People have got to have a desire and want to do it. And there's a lot of people that will go and get some industry experience, knowing full well 4 or 5 years down the line, once they've got that experience, they want to open their own shop. So these are the kind of people we're looking for, or people who've got to a certain headroom as well in a corporate organization, thinking, I've got nowhere to go here. Like, my next step up is a job that I don't want to do. I enjoy being a branch manager. I don't want to be an area manager. I don't want to be a regional manager over multiple locations. That's more headaches. This is my town. I own my town. I want to stay here. So anything like that, these are the kind of people that we're looking for, ideally.
Yeah. And there's so many people that get to that position as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is the other side of it as well. It's people just think it's off limits, thinking, they just close down to the idea of being able to run their own agency, thinking, I can't do that. I can't do that, whether that's imposter syndrome or whatever we want to call it this week. It's not as difficult as what people think, particularly if you've got a backing of a recruitment based rather than a venture capitalist. So venture capitalists will obviously chuck you the money, give you more equity, but you're out there. You've just got to learn.
And because they don't actually know the recruitment world, they're just
exactly that. And do they know? Like, I mean, for example, if you started up shop at the start of 2023, it's been pretty shit for the last 18 months, hasn't it? Let's be fair. It's not been a good market. So do they understand that, or do we just go, bang, no, cut you, there you go, right, you're liable for all this? Whereas we're actually owned by the second biggest recruiter in Japan. So with regards to being a cash-rich, solid business, we're talking like 5 and 10 year plans here. We're not messing about like saying, you'll be able to sell it. You'll be able to sell in 2 years and live on your own Caribbean island, and all the bollocks that you see on LinkedIn every day.
Rookies get told that when they join the industry.
It's bobbins, isn't it? It's ridiculous. Just be realistic with people. How I'll sell it to people is, hey, you're not going to be a multimillionaire, but you might be able to pay your mortgage off in 5-10 years time. How about that? Keep that. Keep nice. The dividends building up. Like buy gap out if you want, or take that div, pay your mortgage off, and then like be free for the rest of your life. Whatever you want to do. So just be a bit more realistic with what you're saying, rather than being, you're going to be dripped in gold and living out in Dubai and all this sort of.
You're going to be having a bath and £52 notes every day, twice a day. Speaking of money, it's almost like I did this on purpose and just linked it to the next question. Boom! How would you know if
look at that for a segue? Woo!
Listen, I am an experienced host of a show, Ross. I've been doing this a while. I know how to link and go with the flow of the show.
Experience, you've got your own mic. You've got your own mic, have you?
I have had 2 really shitty purchases from Amazon Business this week, both being returned. One was a ring light that doesn't actually attach to the laptop. Second is this mic. It looks good. I took Alex, if you're watching, I took your advice and bought a mic. But you've got to plug bloody earphones into it to hear what the other person's saying. I don't want earphones in and this thing sitting there. So I have a mic, but it's not functioning mic at the moment. Yeah. So
just go on to the affordability side. So again, a bit of confusion with joint ventures and like a normal franchise. So a normal franchise, you probably have to put 20K in yourself, get all the badges, get all the colours, blah, blah, blah. This is completely different. We actually offer salaries as part of that. We'll build that into 3-5 year budget plans. So we're actually paying people salaries. Some will do it as like a director's loan. What I would say with that is it's a little bit grey, and be very careful if you're going down that route that you don't end up with your HMRC bill yourself at the end of the year, because nobody's really told you a lot of information about it. Some do it very well. Some, no.
Yeah.
But like I say, there is salaries involved, so it's not a case of somebody going, well, I'll tell you what, I haven't got a war fund here to not earn money for the next 6 months. That isn't the issue. You straight onto salary. Straight onto, you can even.
Oh, that is a massive load off like.
Of course it is, yeah. That's the biggest USP. But this is thanks to our backing and our support that we've got from Japan. And we've got our retained profits within Gap, so we've got the ability to do this. I appreciate not everybody has, but we have. So let's offer it out there. So if we can give people that stability, we can move across, have that salary there. Some people might say in 2 years' time, you know what, drop me down off that salary. I'll just go for more divs if that's okay. Then there's conversations there to be had. It's completely flexible.
Yeah. So actually, because again, we were talking about this before we went live as well. Initially, some people might be like, "Oh, I can't afford to do that." Well, actually, there's options, isn't there?
Totally, yeah. I'll consider anything. So I'll sit down with somebody. We'll put a business plan together. Usually, like a 3-year plan, sometimes a 5-year plan. Talk about. I don't like to go too niche with it, to be honest, because we've had this on a few occasions where you think, right, we're going to be very niche, going to go into this specific sector here. And lo and behold, that sector goes to rat shit in a few months, and there's nothing there. So I have 2 or 3 different themes that you're looking at, and it's more about the person as well. So a good example, Josh, who works out of South Manchester for us, he does like auto body repair shop, but then he's gone into so much metal bashing around South Manchester manufacturing. So the job families are pretty similar. So it's like, he can do his national stuff, but he can also do his A to Z, knocking on doors on the industrial estate, picking up vacancies, placing people that way as well. So he's got 2 strings to the bow. So I don't really push anybody into a dead-on niche. And the other side of it as well is when people are presenting numbers, I get fucking shot down for this all the time, but fuck it. A budget is a guess. A forecast is a guess. Nobody knows what's going to happen. So many external variables, particularly in recruitment. Nobody knows what the hell is going on, do they? So to say to somebody in like 3 months' time, or get a budget from somebody for a potential investment, say that number's smaller than that number, it's like you're pontificating over bullshit. It doesn't matter, does it? So as long as you know you've got the right person in and they're going to do the right processes and put the effort in, there will be an output. It will be nothing like they planned for, but there will be an output. So focus on that. Focus on getting the right people. Focus on looking at certain, say like a handful of sectors, but don't over egg it and think you've got to get right into the minutiae of boring detail. It's pretty irrelevant. Just get them out there, get them billing.
I think I think the business plan support as well is good, because I've had to do a few, for my coaching business, I've had a couple of business support loan type things to be able to invest in stuff, right? And like you say, the business plans, they want loads of details. Some of it is really helpful to map out, really helpful. The SWOT analysis, all of that. But like you say, the financial stuff, and they tear it to shreds, and you're like, I've just made it up. I can't. I'm not psychic. I wish I was, but I'm not. Like, are you really gonna hone in on stuff that's just
honestly? I think it's just an experience thing, isn't it? As well, once you've been through a few rodeos, you start to think, well, that's pretty irrelevant. Nobody's ever asked me about this. It's almost like presenting your fucking GCSE certificates. So much of it is irrelevant. It's not needed. Somebody's decided to add it into something, but it's kind of irrelevant. And again, with this, there's no sort of nonsense interview process or anything like that, and people getting grilled on missing 2 weeks gaps in the CVs or any of that shite. It's just conversation after conversation after conversation. Build it up. Are you okay with this? Are we okay with this? Are you okay to proceed? Then there's a level of approval that goes to Japan to sign each one off, because ultimately it's a subsidiary that sits underneath the Gap umbrella. But bar that, it's just conversation back and forth. It's not that it's mutual. So there's no power struggle. Yeah. Which you'll get a little bit on the VC side. It's like, this is our money. Where is it? Bang. And like really hold you to ransom with it. This is very much mutual. I'm here for the long term, supporting. I'll jump on the phones. I'll go knock on doors in the industrial estates if I need to get that momentum into the business. The support is there.
I don't know if this will, Raihan, I know you've asked a really good question here, but it is a meaty one. You're watching on YouTube, but you're streaming on YouTube. If you don't mind, I'm going to direct Ross to that, after the show because it's quite a meaty one, and
All right, okay,
I want to make sure we give you a good answer. So I'm not ignoring your question. We
cool.
will come back to it. But the next one I wanted to ask you is that I think like when people think, and I've always thought about this before, you know, when people talk about partnering with people, joint ventures, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
I think some people, and whether it's an ego dent or whether it's from genuine concern, I don't know. But people worry about that level of control. Like they're setting up a business, maybe they've come from an agency where they've been micromanaged. You know, when they think, well, I want some control here with decision making. Like how would it actually work?
Well, I've got a few guys who've come out of the corporate world, so it's kind of getting them to say, like, you don't need to put your hand up to go for a piss here. Like, just it's your fucking business. Like, if that's an avenue you want to go down, you don't have to ask me. Just like let's talk about it. Let's sit down. Let's go through it. But yeah, it's yours. If it's going to make money, then it makes money. Let's do it. Obviously, we're not signing off like boats and cars and fancy parties and all this sort of caper, but yeah, there's a lot more flexibility than certainly somebody who's a branch manager in a large network. That freedom can be a little bit scary at first, but again, that's what I'm here for, to mentor people through that and say, no, there is freedom. So even if it's a case of working with certain CRMs, we've got a new venture actually based out of Warrington now, where they need some bespoke CRM software. So it's like, yeah, we'll just build it into the budget then. Let's just do that. If you want that, then we'll get it. If that's going to make you more money and Talent Invest more money, then yeah, we'll do it.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would be very difficult to do. If you were on your own, you might have that need, but then it's like, A, how do I go about it?
Yeah.
B, I've got to find the time to sort this out. C, I've got to fund it.
Yeah, exactly that. So yeah, there is that joy to it, and that's kind of why you've got 49 and not 100%. These are the things we can do. We can take it to market much quicker.
So in terms of the decision making, then actually you've got a lot of control still.
Yeah, there's a lot of control. So yeah, there might be certain things that are off limits, but it's just discussion. So I'm not an expert in every sector. We've got guys out here who are experts in their sector, so I'm learning new things all the time. So it's quite exciting for me. So if they say, "Oh, we need this accreditation," or "We need to do that," then okay, cool. Just write into the P&L. That's absolutely fine. Let's get going with it. We've got to be entrepreneurial with it. So if we're bringing people in, if I'm sort of coaxing people in with and wanting that entrepreneurial flair to then get them in through the door and then go, no, you've got to do this, got to do that. We can't do this, can't do that. It's a futile, isn't it? It's a pointless exercise. So
it's pointless.
Yeah. There's got to be that endeavour to get out there and do it for sure.
And this is what sometimes baffles me about some agency, and this is why people end up leaving, obviously.
Yeah.
But baffles me about some agencies where they've got these entrepreneurial people in the teams that that at this point in time don't want to leave. They just want to grow, they want to help grow the business and they want to grow their desk. They've got all these amazing ideas, which will help the business grow, help you make more money. And they're just like, nah, not today.
Yeah, I get it from some angles. 'Cause, I mean, obviously it's been a tough trading period, hasn't it, the last couple of years? So have you a bit cash strapped? It's something for the future, perhaps. Yeah, great. But particularly in the corporate world, you see people just getting shot down for it, almost like they're a nuisance for doing it. So if you can get hold of that, I mean, people like that, I just want to hug them. Absolute catnip to me. Love seeing entrepreneurial folk and just like people who are just going to get out there, activists, get out there and do it. Give me them all day long. I'm more than happy to have conversations with people like that. So it's just a case of, it's more sort of tempering them towards that. Say, hey, listen, that is a fucking quality idea. You've got some real nous about you, but we just can't do it yet. But my God, that's quality. Let's talk about it. What about this?
Plan around it.
Yeah, we can probably get to this compromise for now, but let's keep that in mind for later down the line. And it's just, I mean, it's a bit like what you do with the rookies coming in. You've got to inspire these people, haven't you? You've got to get your arm around them and inspire them and lift them up.
Keep that fire burning that they've got.
Exactly. So if they've come in and walked through the door and they come to you and say, I've come into recruitment, because I think it's a good route to market for me to get to where I want to be. Oh my God, yes. Like, why beat it out of them? Like, we've talked about, oh, you're not doing that right, you're not doing this, or you've only booked 4 fucking quality meetings, you need to book 5. Like, all right, then, yeah, I'll pretend I'm going to go and see Chaz and Dave on Friday afternoon, man. There's so much stuff there it's just pointless, isn't it? Like, just move away from it. Let's inspire people.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you there. I'm going to come back to you for Ross's top tip of the day. But before I do, I'm going to do a roundup of the next show like I normally do. And I actually have remembered to write down who's the guest, where they're from, what we're talking about, and the time and the date for once. Usually I'm like, oh, shit, I've forgotten to write something down. So I can actually do this well this week. The next show is on the 18th of September at the normal time of 12:30. I've got Darren Westall from Pager, CEO of Pager, joining me. We are going to talk. Are you excited already, Ross?
We use Pager. We use Pager.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
If you get a chance to get Rohit on as well, he's an absolute legend of a man.
I'll probably get Kieran. I'll probably get all of them on at some point as individual guests. And we're going to be talking about why personal branding is important when starting a business. And yeah, like personal branding for me is a huge subject. Work a lot with a lot of consultants on it, but yeah, when you're starting a business, it's it's key. So let's come back to you. So that's the next show. Top tip: get external advice. Tell us a bit more about this one.
So if you're a branch manager and you're suddenly going into a shareholder situation, get some external advice. Either if you've got the money, get a solicitor. If not, get a family friend. Get somebody in the know. You probably know someone in the family who's got some legal nous behind them. But get these things checked, because some contracts are great. Some are absolutely horrific and onerous. And I've seen people that they're not able to work in recruitment for the next 10 years. The covenants is that strict. Honestly, it's horrific. There's some people get really badly chewed up and spat out in this game on the joint venture side. It can be really shady. So do your due diligence. Make sure you go to a few different shops to see who's offering the best. Get hold of those contracts, scour them, look at them in like minute detail. Now, this is the time for detail, not in your forecast, not in your budget. This is the time for detail, because there's a lot of trip-ups in there. So just know what it's all about. Ask questions, because it's all in legal jargon as well. I don't know what some of it means. So
does anyone, apart from lawyers?
yeah, exactly. So have it explained to you. Get it in layman's terms so you fully understand what that jargon speak is. It's crucial, because people get signed up to things, they don't know what they've got signed up to. They are handcuffed. If people aren't going into it with mutual respect and wanting the same things and good intention, it can be a pretty murky world out there.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, that stuff like frightens me. Ward's got there we go. Surely top tip is to do 15 ring round calls at 7:30 a.m. every morning. Why wasn't that your top tip?
Well, Ward and I started at the same agency many years ago, and now he's like LinkedIn famous and living his best life out in Peru, isn't he? So what a guy! So there he was. He's given up his red salt in Preston. He's all the way in Peru. So yeah, we used to have to bang out 15 ring round calls every morning, 7:30. Get as many bookings out the door. Breakfast club in the office. They're staring at you. Good incentive to get them out to work. But to be fair, there's a lot of people come out of that one company and they've gone on to do really well for themselves. So it just, it wasn't for everybody. It was a bit of a boiler room at times, but I tell you what, there's a lot. I think
a lot of agency. We can probably all, say that we go back however long. I keep saying, I have to keep reminding people I am in my mid-30s, because people do think I'm like 21 quite often. I did start in recruitment quite a while ago. You go back to your early days at a lot of agencies.
Yeah.
But we've all come out and look at us now.
Exactly. And this is like talking to people saying, oh, you don't have to do sales, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do this, just send a few emails. You are limiting people's careers by doing that. Like, give people the full spectrum of what they're capable of. Like, get them out there. It might be uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for everyone unless you're a psychopath. Like, you've got to learn this.
Am I a psychopath? No, some things still do make me uncomfortable, but no, I'm with you. If you want to give them the best chance to succeed and unlock their potential, which you benefit from, by the way, because the business is going to grow. Give them all the tools in the toolbox. I like that toolbox analogy. Give them all the tools to go out and do what they need to do. We've gone off on a bit of a tangent at the end.
Just get out of the bloody way. If people are better than you at something, just get out of the way. Get your ego part. Get it out of the way. Let them do it. But if they want to do it, they'll do it. And like say, they're doing it for the good of the business, good of your business. Everybody's happy.
I mean, we could do a whole other show on that subject alone, but it's 1 o'clock.
Wow.
We've run out of time.
We're at the end. I haven't told any jokes.
I know. I was expecting props. You promised me props.
I was winding you up with that. I'm not going to do that. I'll get some other impressions.
I did say I was going to wash my hair, especially, but I was like, oh.
Look at that nice new haircut for the day. It's all going on.
Stunning. But yeah,
green t-shirts, match my eyes. Look at that. Everything's on. It's all been thought out.
So much effort. And actually, it even matches the branding of the show. And God, we've just coordinated. We've collaborated.
This is the magic of meeting people, isn't it?
Collaboration, relationships, partnerships. That's what the show. This is what I started the show for. To bring this into the recruitment world. Anyway, enough about my mission and purpose in life, because we're at the end now of the show. Right. If you've watched and you want to know more, I would add LinkedIn is Ross's place. Add him. He's on the event, so easy to find. Message him with questions or chuck your questions in the event, and he'll see them anyway. Reach out to him because this is quite a big subject, and I appreciate we've covered off important stuff today, but not everything. So I would advise you to reach out.
Get sliding, people. Get sliding.
Get sliding to those DMs. And also, you can stream this. If you want to watch it again, go on YouTube. I do. It's on there forever. It's never going to go. Our faces will all...
Your views might be all from the same address, but it'll be fine. The views might be all from the same address, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. It's just me.
From Bridgend in South Wales, where I'm just clicking, get the views up.
Class.
Right. We've got to finish. Oh, that's not a lovely comment. This has been surprisingly enjoyable. Thank you.
That's Pappy Showboy. That's one of my homeboys.
Supporting you.
Matty Showbridge. If you need a CV writer, he's your guy. Life coach.
There we go. Passing on so much information. Right. We're gonna call this a day. We're gonna end the show. And like I said, any questions, chuck them our way. And join me again on the 18th for the next episode. See you all soon.
Perfect.
Bye.
See you all later. Bye-bye.